One of the questions I'm sometimes asked is, with all this energy work, when am I finally going to be completely free of any imbalances? When I started doing this work, I was actually obsessed with clearing myself 100% of any imbalances, and I went through this process of clearing things from myself and then checking how many imbalances I had left, and then doing this every time. You know, it was like well over 1,000 at the beginning, or at least that's the answer that was coming back to me. And so I was doing very intensive work on myself because I was determined to get it down to 0. So I got it down, 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 then it got down to 100. When it got down to about 100, it started sort of going up again. So it was like, it might be 100 at the start of the session, and then we'd release 20 imbalances, and then there might be 110 left or something like that. It went in a sort of, but overall it was coming down, and at the end maybe there were 95 imbalances left. So it was coming down much more slowly than the actual number of imbalances released, but at least it kept coming down. And I think it got really extreme when it was down into the single figures, because it kept going up into the 30s again, and I had to sort of keep bringing it down. Eventually I got it down to 0 imbalances. And then for the next few weeks, whenever I checked if I had any imbalances, it was either no, or it was just, a very small handful of, what I probably picked up on a day-to-day basis. So I thought, I'm clear. Finally, I'm clear. I'm going to do this for my clients as well. I'm going to check how many imbalances they had, and I'm going to sort of start to bring them down and try and get it to 0 so they can be clear as well. But then what happened was, after a few weeks, when I started to ask the question, do I have any imbalances? It was a yes. And then I started releasing quite a lot, and there was still more left. So I was asking, how many imbalances do I have? And it was up in the thousands again. So how do I explain that? The best explanation I can think of is that the answers were accurate at the time, but they referred to what was on the body's radar, what the body was ready to release, what was available at that time to be released. It might be an entire layer of imbalances, but then when the body got used to living without that layer of imbalances, it may have become more aware of imbalances on a deeper level. And I actually went through this whole process a second time before I actually got this, and exactly the same thing happened. So I've given up on that now, and I've actually understood that the important thing is not trying to get down to 0 imbalances. It's just an abstract idea. It doesn't actually make any sense or make a tremendous difference in life, the number of imbalances. When we focus our work either on a particular issue or on what's in our best interests, then what the body's going to do, it's going to identify the imbalances that are causing the most issues, identify the imbalances, releasing which it's going to make the biggest difference to our lives. And that's what's really important. I'd rather release 5 imbalances that were really holding me up, that were really causing a bottleneck in my healing, than 1,000 imbalances that weren't particularly having much of an effect. So when we sort of hone our intention, then we release a much smaller number of imbalances, but much more targeted to make the sorts of differences that we want in our lives. And so that's how I've switched my thinking about healing, and focusing much less on releasing volume and much more on focusing on the results that we want to achieve. And we have a number of other videos around the importance of how we think about these things. There's a video on the law of attraction. There will be one at some point soon on positive thinking in general, and there are others as well. So I hope that was helpful. I'll see you again soon, when we'll be talking about how to choose the issue that we want to work on in any session. I'll see you again then, and I'll leave you now with a reminder of some very wise words that they used to say in the Middle Ages.
To improve the way you're feeling, book a session with Heartful Healing.